We're down to the final 16 on both the men's and the women's side. The men's seeds are holding strong. The women are still all over the place. There'll be a first-time Wimbledon champion on the women's side. Arthur Ashe's historical Wimbledon win turns 50. And we'll get into the most exciting matches that you have to look forward to in the fourth round, also known as the round of 16. Welcome to the Courtside Queen. Come on in and join me as we discuss all of the exciting things that have happened over the last couple of days. Let's kick it off by talking about those two matches that still needed to finish from round two. Those two matches were the Monfils-Fucsovics match, as well as the Ben Shelton-Hijikata match that both got suspended due to darkness. We talked in the last video, and I'm sure you have seen all over social media by now, the controversy that happened when Ben Shelton's match was ended when he was going to serve it out for the match. What we found out later was when the supervisor came out to tell Ben they were ending things for the night, he said, "We only have 5 minutes to go before the automatic line calling shuts down." And Ben said, "But I only need 1 minute." And I'll tell you what, when he came out the following morning, he served it out in 1 minute. And when he went to press, that was when he let all of us know that that was the conversation that had happened the night before, and that the goal was to come out, hit some aces and some unreturnables so that he could end it all in that 1 minute that he promised. And I thought that that was just so apropos, because if he said, "I only need 1 minute," and he was able to finish it in 1 minute, that was his way of showing them, see, I could get this done quickly. I loved it. There were several matches that kept us glued to our TVs. Naomi Osaka versus Pavlyuchenkova. That match went 3 sets. And I'm telling you, it went down to the very end, to the very wire, where this last point could go either way. And either person could win this match. It was Pavlyuchenkova that came out with the win. However, Naomi Osaka, she played so well on grass. Unfortunately, we have talked about this not once, not twice, but multiple times on the channel. Just how she is so hard on herself and beats herself up. And I just feel like she needs some different people around her. And again, I've said this before, I'm not talking about her coaching staff. I'm talking about the personal people around her that actually speak life into her. I don't feel like she has that. I just wish so bad that I could kind of get my hands on her and help her through this process. Yes, she needs to continue with her counseling journey. She needs to continue with her life coaching journey that she's on. She needs to continue all of those things. However, there are other things that she needs in her personal life that obviously she is not getting. She needs a mama bear or Auntie Ro to get her hands on her so that that person can help her get to where she needs to be mentally and emotionally. The reason that I am saying she needs me is because I know that I have a special knack with people. And so that's neither here nor there. We don't need to go into that. I don't know Naomi. I don't know anyone that knows Naomi. I do know that we all have only 6 degrees of separation at most between us. But I'll leave it at that. I will say that Naomi is definitely in my thoughts. You guys know I talk about her a lot for her not being, an American player and her not being even seated in these tournaments right now because her ranking has fallen so much. She's still someone, for some reason, that resonates with me and that has I have a soft spot in my heart for her. So I hope that she's able to turn things around. I hope that she's able to get the right people in her corner. Tag her in this video or something, because Naomi girl, come on. I got you. Amanda Anisimova is still holding strong. Her match also went 3 sets, but she is looking so good. You guys know that she was one of my top 5 people that I said could win the whole tournament. I think that she is the last person standing for those that I named that could win the tournament. And I love the way that she's looking. I hope that she continues to play strong and win these matches and really, really make it to the end of this tournament. On the last video, I had to give you guys an alternate pick on who I thought might win the entire tournament on the women's side. And that alternate pick was Madison Keys, who turned around the very next day and went out and lost her match. But I did say in the popcorn match segment of our last video that by her playing Laura Siegemund, that was going to be a very, very tricky match that Siegemund had a good opportunity to win. And Siegemund went out there and her game plan was just so on point. And she won that match. She played her heart out. Madison Keys could not seem to get her footing. She could not seem to get it together. But Siegemund took that match. And Madison Keys, my alternate pick, is now out of the tournament. I told you guys that I'm not going to make another pick. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to enjoy the tennis with you guys because obviously the women's side of the draw is all over the place. It is not even making sense when you look at some of the people that have gone out and some of the people that are still in. So we're just going to leave it alone and watch how it plays out. I made the call that either Andreeva or Rybakina was going to be in the final alongside Madison Keys. And I think I chose Andreeva, who is still in the tournament. Rybakina is now out of the tournament. She had a match that just took her out. It didn't make much sense to me. Not that she was not playing a good player, but to me, she's a much stronger player than what she represented herself as in the third round. But I'm a little leery on Rybakina. I'm just feeling like she needs some kind of reboot because she's not only going out in these matches, but she's going out very quietly, almost like she's not even fighting to stay in. So it's becoming a disappointment to the point where I'm like, should we even continue to talk about her? Should we even continue to pick her for anything if she's not showing the fight and the prowess that we need her to show as such a big person in tennis? And when I say big person, I'm talking about, of course, her ranking and her name, but I'm also talking about her stature and her strength and the fact that she's won a Grand Slam title before. I'm becoming a little bit disappointed in the way that she's showing up in these tournaments. And so whether we're going to continue to talk about her or not remains to be seen. One of our big popcorn matches that we talked about was Sabalenka versus Raducanu. Raducanu had such an amazing match against Vondrousova in the second round. And I said, if she plays anything like this, she has a great chance to win. She came out in that match against Sabalenka and she played her behind off. She played so well. I was so impressed by what I was seeing. I'm seeing glimpses of what we saw when she won that US Open title a few years ago. But what is most apparent is that she has the coaching staff that she needs on her side right now. And we are seeing her improve tournament after tournament after tournament. And it is extremely impressive. Now, she played the number one player in the world, the most dominant player in the world right now in Arena Sabalenka, and she lost some big leads. But the fact that she had the leads and that she was able to play into the end of each one of those sets with conviction, with power, was what was most impressive to me. She was up 4-1 in the first set, up 4-2 in the second set, but unfortunately lost both of those leads. But I am looking at her through this hard court season that we have coming up. I'm looking forward to her and Carlos Alcaraz teaming up for mixed doubles at the US Open. I am impressed with the fact that she says she wants to play more like him with the joy that he plays with. I know there's something there. I told you guys a few videos ago that right now they're saying they're just friends. However, I'm seeing couple alert here. And I think that may be a bonus if they do decide to get together or continue to even get closer as friends. That will be a huge bonus for her, because a lot of times that championship mentality can rub off on people that you're the closest to. So I'm excited for her. I really like Emma. I like her youthful spirit, and I just hope that she continues to go far. Eventually, I can see her back in the top 10 or 15. And I'm excited to continue to watch her play throughout the rest of the year. And then lastly, on the women's side, the defending champ of Wimbledon, Krajcikova, she actually went out in the third round against Emma Navarro. We definitely knew this was a possibility, because the way Emma plays, especially on grass, is a way that I figured this could be an upset. And even though Krajcikova won the first set and then came up ill sometime before the third set or in the third set, it was still Emma who was the better player when it counted. And so she came out with the win, and she's going to face Andreeva in the next round. On the men's side, we had some exciting matches as always. Alcaraz versus Struff. It ended up going 4 sets because Struff is a beast on the grass. And their battles always seem to be really epic. And this was another one. And then we had Fonseca versus Jarry. Fonseca was able to come back after being 2 sets down and turn that match into one of the most incredible atmospheres on a tennis court that we've seen in a while. It seems like every time he hits the court, the crowd goes wild. And he was almost able to pull it off, but he wasn't able to do so. Jarry came out with the win. And so congratulations to him. We'll see Fonseca moving into hard courts, and I'm sure he's just going to keep getting better and better. Most of the other men's matches went according to what we thought. Taylor Fritz won in 4 sets. Sinner won in straight sets. Djokovic won in straight sets. Ben Shelton won in straight sets. Cilic is still in. He was able to defeat Munar, so I'm excited about him. You guys know I was telling you on the last video how excited I am to see him making a comeback. And one of the most exciting matches of the third round on the men's side was Sonego Nakashima. That match went 5 sets, and it went into a 5th set tiebreak. I think that the match was like 5 hours long. Sonego was able to pull that one out, and he is going to have to play Ben in the next round. So they had 2 totally different matches. Ben's match was straight into the point, whereas Sonego's match was an extended one. And so we'll see what kind of energy he comes back with when they play again on Monday. July 5th, 1975. That was the day that the great Arthur Ashe won Wimbledon, becoming the first Black man to ever win Wimbledon. And I love that ESPN did a tribute video for him, and that they talked about him multiple times over the broadcast on July 5th. We got to see several of the commentators honor him because they knew him and they played with him, or because he had such an impact on them in one way or another. So I always think that it's important to remember those that made history. And so we want to just give a quick honor and salute to the great Arthur Ashe, who had such a profound effect on even bringing Black people into the sport of tennis. And hopefully, because tennis seems to be becoming more mainstream and showing on these other networks like the ESPNs and the TNTs, that we are going to see more and more Black people come into the sport of tennis. It's such a magnificent sport. It creates so much in terms of your personality and in terms of your character. And in addition to that, recent studies have shown that those people that play tennis and other racket sports actually live 10 years longer than the average lifespan. So those are some great reasons to get involved with this sport. Now let's talk about some of the matches that I think you should pay attention to as we move into the 4th round over the next couple of days. On the women's side, Anisimova and Noskova. Noskova actually made it to the semifinal of a tournament right before Wimbledon, and she is playing phenomenally on grass right now. I believe that The matchup between Anisimova and Noskova is going to be a battle. It may go 3 sets. I think that Anisimova is going to pull out the win in this one, but it's definitely one that I recommend taking a look at. I'll be watching. Andreeva Navarro. Again, we mentioned this one earlier. Andreeva, she's the number 7 player in the world, and she is playing well. However, Emma Navarro on grass is definitely a huge threat, and I can see that match not only going the distance, but I can actually see the upset. Emma Navarro, I think, may just come out the winner on this one. So take a look at that match. That's going to be one that I'm going to be watching closely because I want to see how each player looks. So whoever does come out of it, we can assess further how they're going to look as they move into the quarterfinals and semifinals and potentially into the finals. But I do think that Emma Navarro is going to take this match, even though I did say that Andreeva was going to wind up in the final. I'm just saying I think there might be an upset here. I have not called any of Swiatek's matches to be popcorn matches because she just has not been playing that well. However, she is looking surprisingly good on grass. And so I'm definitely going to pay attention to this match. For some reason, I see Tauson pulling off this upset, but I do think it's going to be a difficult match for her to win. So we'll see. We might end up seeing Iga as a person that's moving into the semifinal and the final, but I'm calling potential upset in this one. Let's see what happens. We'll talk about it some more on the next video. On the men's side, I do think that the Rublev-Alcaraz match is going to be an exciting one. I really don't have to tell you to watch an Alcaraz match. Anytime he's on the court, you should be watching. Anytime Sinner is on the court, you should be watching. And anytime Djokovic is on the court, you should be watching. So we don't need to go into too many of these battles of these 3 guys because I do think that all of them are going to hold true to form and win their matches, even though I know their matches are going to be good. However, I will say that Djokovic is going to be playing de Minaur. De Minaur on grass, the way that he runs around and moves all throughout the court is going to be a good match. But the reason that I don't think there's going to be an upset here is because de Minaur does not have many other weapons besides his movement, his drop shots and his movement. But Djokovic has such great movement as well that I just don't think de Minaur is going to be able to upset him. I also believe that Taylor Fritz is going to come through his match against Jordan Thompson with ease. I think maybe 4 sets, but Taylor is going to walk into the quarterfinals after winning this match, and we'll talk about his next match on the next video. But 2 matches I do want to call as popcorn, true popcorn matches on the men's side. Number 1 is Ben Shelton versus Sonego. These 2 have actually played in the Australian Open. They've played at the French Open, and now they're playing at Wimbledon. I mean, let's just put them together every single tournament because obviously that's what we're doing in all the majors. This is going to be a good match. They are a really good matchup. They both have these unique things that they do where they play well against each other. I think that Sonego won the last time they played. Ben won the time before. Ben has a monster serve. Sonego has a great serve too. They both move around the court effortlessly. The only difference here is Sonego has had to go to 5 sets, I think 2 different times in this tournament, and Ben has won all of his matches in straight sets. So I think that the legs that Sonego has left may be the determining factor on whether he wins or loses this match. I do not think he's going to win. I think that Ben Shelton is going to make it through. And I think that we will see Ben Shelton versus Jannik Sinner in the quarterfinal. And lastly, keep an eye out for my guy, Cilic. He's going to be playing Italian Caboli, and I think that that match is going to be exciting. I think that it's going to be fast-paced. I think that it's going to be one that's going to have the crowds going crazy, and hopefully we get a little glimpse of it, even if they don't televise the whole thing. If I had to make a prediction, I would love to say that everybody that is supposed to still be in this tournament after the 4th round is still going to be here. However, I do think that we are going to have at least two upsets in the fourth round. But I want to know what you think. Do you think things are going to hold true? Or do you think we're going to see more upsets on the men's and the women's side as we make our way over this next couple of days and into the fourth round? All right, that's it. It's time to get ready to watch the tennis. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. And if you like content like this, go ahead and give us a subscribe. We would love to have you over here as part of the Courtside crew. And with that being said, thanks for joining me on this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.